What's up, you guys? This is the host of this channel, Fame VA here. I am the voice behind your favorite blue and uh, ebony hedgehogs. Um, for those that are new here, and because who knows, this video may end up blowing up. Who knows? But I figured I would introduce myself a little bit. But my background with YouTube has been since 2007, but I started taking it seriously in 2017. And I started doing a Sonic Generations Let's Play. And then during the third or fourth episode, that's when I introduced my Shadow the Hedgehog voice, which over the years I feel it has gotten better. I do want to improve on it more, but I like where I have it. So, yeah. Anyways, in this video, we are going to be discussing some awesome news. Because obviously, with us getting a lot of information because of um, Izuka-san going around and being interviewed by various gaming news sources like IGN, GameSpot, I believe, Sonic Stadium, and various others. There's one piece of news that has left me intrigued, and I have talked about this before of them doing other ports than just Sonic Colors. I even suggested for them to do a Sonic Generations port for newer consoles, and that's exactly what they're doing with Sonic X Shadow Generations, which I'm super excited for. I'll be pre-ordering my copy. Actually, by the time this video goes live, I should already have my copy pre-ordered on Amazon. So pretty excited because Sonic Generations, just so people don't know, it is one of my most favorite Sonic games of all time. And during the IGN interview, he mentions how that um, they are open to doing more remasters as long as the as long as we recrest them too. So naturally, that opens up the floodgate. So really, what he's saying is the power is in our hands. That's why Sonic Generations uh, remastered that. So it was because of us. Now, the only downside to the remaster is, of course, I'm going to have to rant about this just for a little bit, is that there's no lives and no continue. Even though Sonic Generations is a very easy game. Um, I'm hoping that there's a way to turn it on or off. I highly doubt it. But honestly, I'm not that mad about it because really, Sonic Generations is a much easier Sonic game, anyways. So it doesn't bother me as much as like Sonic Origins. I figured I would get that out of the way. Um, so now everyone is wanting Sonic Unleashed. And I'm like, well, yeah, that would be perfect. We can have all the Boost era games on on newer consoles, and that would be freaking amazing. Because over the years, Sonic Unleashed had bad reviews, but over the years, probably because of like the kids that grew up with it as the first Sonic game, are now talking about it and just basically much like with the Star Wars prequels, Sonic Unleashed, the reception has changed. And it goes to show you that at the end of the day, review scores don't really matter for a game, in my opinion, because really, a good game can have mixed reviews, and then later on, it's like it's praised. I mean, Sonic Unleashed has a very good dubbing. Jason Griffith did a freaking amazing job in that game. The story is amazing. You know, the day stages are fun, and I even enjoy the Warhawk stages, even though that they do sometimes overstay their welcome a little bit. Keep in mind, my experience with that game comes from the Wii/PS2. I need to play the HD version, which is the version of the game that people tend to recommend anyways. I do have it uh, via backwards compatibility on my Xbox, so I I want to stream it eventually, but I'm gonna need a capture card too, since Xbox doesn't allow streaming through YouTube, which I find really dumb. Um, and with this news, what are some games that I want to be ported and remastered? Well, considering the fact that Black Doom is making a big reappearance in Shadow Generation, well, why not remaster Shadow the Hedgehog? That game is very important to Shadow Story. Yes, people are going to talk about how bad it is, but I think it's time that we give that game another chance. And I think Sonic Heroes should be remastered. That's actually a game I really want to play again. I wouldn't mind a more proper remastering of the first two adventure games. Um, because the unfortunate side is that I have came to the conclusion that I would prefer them to keep the Dreamcast sliding, or like finding a way to combine the two versions of the first Sonic Adventure, because the definitive way to play Sonic Adventure now is by having the game downloaded on PC via Steam and having the Dreamcast conversion to where you can like change the game back to the Dreamcast game, or like you can keep all the changes in that they did for DX, so like the more updated models and stuff. But you have the Dreamcast textures and lighting. I think really that is the definitive way to play the game. So I would want them to take inspiration from that, because it seems like they are taking inspiration from the fandom, especially with there now being skins for like Terios. Oh yeah, by the way, Terios is going to be a skin for Shadow, which I think is perfect. Um, and also Modern Sonic is going to have a Sonic Adventure skin, and I guess it's been leaked that Classic Sonic is going to have a skin. So you know, and that's no different than mods. To be honest, when you have like Sonic 06 Sonic in place of Mono Sonic, it's basically a skin, probably with custom animations, of course, but that's basically what the mods are. In a, you know, and I'm trying to explain it as simple as I can. Naturally, with mods, they tend to put a lot more work into it than just a basic skin. Um, and also, too, the the hard stages in the last update for Sonic Frontiers was inspired by the fandom as well. So it's clear that Sega is looking at what the fandom wants. And so if there's a game you want to see remastered, now's the time to speak up. Um, Now, if there are some ports that needs to be done, I think it's time for Sonic Advance trilogy and the Sonic Rush trilogy to be put on the console. I think it's high time. And I think if they don't want to do a separate collection for them, you can literally call it the modern handheld collection or something like that, to where you have um, the Sonic Adventure games, the Sonic Advance games, and also the Sonic Rush games, including the DS version of Sonic Colors, because a lot of people consider that as the third Sonic Rush. Um, Now, my ultimate hope was that they would just do like the ultimate handheld Sonic competition with all the Game Gear games, maybe Sonic Pocket Adventure, the Advance series, the Rush series. Um, and if they were to, even though I personally wouldn't want them to, the 3DS version of Sonic Lost World, uh, the 3DS version of Generations, which I do like that version actually. It's a shame they're not including any of the stages from the 3DS version. I think that would have really extended the playtime for Generations, you know? But they could end up doing some sort of DLC for the games if they want to by including more levels. Um, but because of them putting the Game Gear games on to Sonic Origins Plus, they're probably not going to do a big handheld Sonic collection. But I think the Sonic Advance games should be out again. I think those games are super underrated. The first two games are considered classics. The third game's pretty good. The Sonic Rush games are freaking amazing. So what's the excuse? I think those games should be, like I said, I think those games should be either ported or let's see what uh let's see what the team at Evening Star Studios can do with the retro engine with those games. Imagine a widescreen native version of the freaking Advance series with all the bells and whistles that Christian Whitehead was known for putting into his version of Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Sonic CD. That would be amazing. Um, but yes, the games I want to see remastered is Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Heroes, some new better ports of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. For SA1, I want them to take more inspiration of the textures and lighting of the Dreamcast version, as I do think that the textures and lighting look a lot better in the Dreamcast version than the GameCube version. Um, they need to update the other Echidna models because it's weird seeing Dreamcast models next to like a HD Knuckles. Well, not HD, but the SA2 Knuckles model, because that's what they use for Sonic Rush DS. They use the models from SA2, and I think it's time for them to include a feature that you can play at Supersonic. I mean, it's possible to do it. There are mods for you to be able to do just that, along with that Dreamcast conversion mod. Um, and that's for SA2. I would want them to fix some of the dubbing and uh, the script for the Japanese dub so that you can have a proper translation of the Japanese dub. Um, as for the audio, sometimes the voices overlap each other, and I think they need to clean that up a bit. Um, if there's any features I would want them to include in Sonic Adventure 2, I would love to see a game that bridges the gap between Sonic, um, SA2, and Heroes. Like maybe we can have it be just based on Rouge, and we see how Rouge ends up being able to sneak inside that one Eggman base where she first meets Omega and she reunites with Shadow after SA2. That would be a freaking amazing side game because Izuka-san has also said that they're open for more side games that feature other characters. So I think that would be a cool idea. And you can see that's another thing which I will be going more in depth about this next week's video, is that he also confirms that what Shadow's going through is during the exact same time as Sonic's journey in Generations, meaning each character is most likely going through their own adventure through their past, present, and future. And so I will be getting more into my thoughts about that next. Um, I also wouldn't mind a Saturn's collection, a Sega Saturn collection with Sonic R and Sonic Fighter. Um, well, Sonic the Fighters. And honestly, I know that there's going to be people that's probably going to meme on me for this. I would want them to try to come up with a deal with um, Chaos X and try to get their build of Sonic 06 and just add all the cutscenes and the hub world because unfortunately, Chaos X has came out and said that basically they don't plan on, and I hope I'm saying the person's name right. If I'm saying it wrong, my editor will probably be putting the correct name of the person that made Project 06. But anyways, they came out and said they have no plans on doing the hub world or the cutscenes. And to me, in my opinion, that's a cap out. Not a cap out, a cop out. You're remaking Sonic 06 from the ground up for PC. Why not do the hub world and why not do the cutscenes? Or better yet, why not have someone else do? To me, I want to be able to experience that game with everything included to how Sega originally wanted that game to be. Because honestly, in my opinion, what's there in Sonic 06 is, let me rephrase that. What's there in Sonic 06 is very promising. And Project 06 shows it. That underneath all that glitches and long loading times, there is a pretty good Sonic game underneath there. And before anyone posts any anti-Sonic 06 stuff in the comments, please don't. I've gotten so sick of it. The game is coming up to 20 years in 2020. 2 years. I think it's time that we stop with the hate for that game. We all get it. It was a failure. It made people not trust Sega anymore, and you can still see the effects of it to this day. However, we need to give that game a second chance. If they are open to bringing back Black Doom, which means Shadow the Hedgehog, the game is relevant again. Well, here's the thing: if Black Doom's in here and the Biolizard is in here, there's a Kingdom Valley stage, and who does he fight in 06? Meph. We could see the return of Mephiles, and I hope they got Dan Green to voice him. So, yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed this. If there's anything you all want to say, if there's any games you want to see remastered, definitely comment them down below. So as always, if you're new here, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and definitely hit that bell button to all. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video. Later, guys.